Hi, welcome to Portland Parks and Recreation's Hoyt Arboretum. It's Monday again and it's April 13th. We're back in the Magnolia collection and today we're standing in front of Magnolia soulangiana Lennei. And the soulangiana group is really just coming into bloom right now. We have several different cultivars. Probably the ones people are familiar with would be like rustica rubra. Really big, upright, beautiful red. In fact, the name rustica rubra just means like a red country girl. So it's this red color, very nice, really vigorous plant. But Lennei, it's another really old soulangiana hybrid. It comes out of Italy from, they figure, somewhere about 1853. So it's been in cultivation for 170 years. And the fact that it's still available on the market today really is a testament to this just fantastic bloom. It's a real true goblet shape. We have this really fantastic shape, and they're just perched beautifully on the ends of all these branches. The tree itself is not particularly tall. It's actually kind of more of a round, low canopy. It's one of the reasons that it's still in the marketplace is because it's more of a smaller stature. Most of the soulangianas get very large. This one, we prune it after bloom, so with all magnolias we want to go in pretty soon after the bloom and prune it to help maintain it, and we're able to maintain this at a really compact size. So this is quite an old tree, and yet it's still only about, it's maybe 15 feet tall and about 20-25 feet wide. In foliage, it really has a nice, beautiful shaped tree, but right now, by far the most stunning of magnolias in the collection. And beautiful dark purple on the outside of the flower on these tepals, and then if we flip them back, and the inside is just pure white on the inside. So really cool contrast as the flowers open up, and then we can see inside the bloom here. I'll take a look. So this is Magnolia soulangiana Lennei. So we're still here in the magnolias, and I just thought I'd talk a little bit about, you know, some of the things that it takes to grow a magnolia. I know a lot of folks are at home working in their yards, and you're probably thinking about trees you can add, or maybe how to like make your yard look awesome for the spring. And so if you bring a magnolia in, a few considerations are just about, well, all magnolias, all the species are from parts of the world that get summer rainfall. So if you're growing a magnolia in Oregon with our summer dry, you're going to need to make sure you can provide some moisture to it. A few species will survive the dry if they're adequately mulched and the soil is in good condition. So we use a lot of wood chips with compost. We put them pretty thick around the tree, try to get some mulch on every couple of years. And magnolias sort of like their head in the sun and their roots in the shade is sort of how we talk about it. So having good cool roots and maintaining the moisture there, but they don't want to be waterlogged either, so they don't want to be in a low spot in the yard. They want to be somewhere where there's some drainage. With general nutrient, you know, we don't add any other fertilizers or really do anything else. We do some weed control, we mulch a lot, and then really a big key thing is pruning, and you want to come in within a month after the bloom has finished and get your pruning done, because that summer's growth is going to dictate the bloom that you get for the next year. So if you fall prune, you're going to prune all those buds that have set that the magnolias put energy into generating before it gets a chance to flower. So you want to do your pruning kind of late spring, just right after flowering. Get in there, do your shape work, and then give them some good mulch and make sure they have adequate moisture, and they'll set lots of buds for next year. So you can, pretty easy to care for other than that. So a great tree for your yard. Just pick a size that fits your yard appropriately. So Hoyt Arboretum is really well known for our Acer or maple collection. We're part of the national multi-site Acer collection with 15 other arboreta across the country. And there's about 124 species of maples in the world. We have about 70 species of maples we grow here at the Arboretum. But of course, one that you'll probably all recognize, that you'll find a tree somewhere in your neighborhood of, is our own Acer macrophyllum. So bigleaf maple, this is native to the Pacific Northwest. It actually has a fairly large range. We saw it down near Santa Barbara in California. It grows these sort of scrappy little trees with small leaves where it's in kind of drought conditions. You get it up here where there's lots of water available. They get to be these very large trees, and living up to their name, they have really a large leaf. So Acer macrophyllum just means big leaf, so big leaf maple. They're in flower right now, and they have a really interesting bloom. It's pretty large, so they're about 2 to 3 inches long. You'll see it's an inflorescence. It's made up of lots of smaller flowers. These blooms right now are all in the male stage. They all have the stamen out and they're releasing pollen. Maples and have a lot of weird things going on with how they flower, and they have kind of a process called heterodicogamy, where the same flower will actually have a male stage and then a female stage, and then some of them will have a male stage again. Some start as female and then go to male, and then female. It's kind of a complicated system, but the whole process is so that different trees at the same time are not all releasing pollen. Some of them are receptive to pollen, and then the later trees, as they turn to the female stage of the flower, there are other trees that are in the process of releasing pollen. It gets more complicated even within acers as a whole. So the maple group, some trees are just male trees, some trees are just female trees, and some are a mix back and forth between the two sexes. But the one thing that never happens on the tree at the same time is they're not male and female, so they're not a perfect flower. They switch from one stage to the next stage, and then potentially to one of the first stage again. So really fascinating way to make sure that they get cross-pollinated, and that ensures that they set lots of seed, which in the fall you guys have all played with a little helicopter maple seeds, and they have a really fantastic dispersal method.